Have you ever felt a moment so heavy, so defining, that it forced you to stop and ask yourself, is this really all there is? Is this where my story ends? My friend, those moments are not the end of your journey. They are the doorway through which your greatest transformation begins. And today, I want to speak directly to that part of you, the part that's tired, the part that's searching, the part that desperately needs a touch of hope. Because there comes a point in every life when the noise of the world becomes too loud, the struggles feel too constant, and the heart begins to wonder whether change is still possible. But I want you to hear this clearly. Hope has not left you. God has not forgotten you. Your story is not finished. I have seen lives shattered only to be rebuilt with greater strength. I have seen people walk into a room with their souls torn, their dreams broken, their confidence buried under years of disappointment, yet walk out transformed by a single truth: God still moves, God still restores, and God still lifts people out of the very places they thought would destroy them. Maybe you're standing in such a place right now. Maybe life hasn't gone the way you planned. Maybe your prayers feel unanswered, your faith feels worn, and your heart feels like it's running on fumes. And you wonder, where is God in all this? Why hasn't the breakthrough come yet? Why does the night feel so long? But I want to remind you, the darkest nights often produce the brightest dawns. And sometimes God allows you to walk through shadows not to break you, but to prepare you, to strengthen you, to grow something inside you that only adversity could water. Let me tell you a story, one that echoes the experiences of many. A man once told me that he had lost everything he valued: his job, his home, his health, his sense of direction. He said, "I felt like I was walking in circles in a desert, thirsty for something I couldn't even name. But somewhere in that desert, somewhere in that lonely silence, he realized he wasn't abandoned. God was not distant. God was guiding him, reshaping him, redirecting him. And when his breakthrough came, it came in a way he never expected, stronger, richer, deeper than anything he had asked for." Perhaps your life feels like that wilderness now. But the wilderness is not where you die. It's where you discover who walks with you. It's where you learn that even when you can't trace God's hand, you can trust His heart. It's where you learn that the delays, the detours, the disappointments were not signs of rejection but preparation. Look back over your life for a moment. Think of every time you thought you wouldn't make it, every night you cried, every door that slammed in your face, every season that pushed you to your knees. You survived things you thought would break you. You endured storms you thought would drown you. You fought battles you never imagined you would face. And you're still here, not by accident, not by coincidence, but because God carried you even when you didn't know He was carrying you. Some of you are on the edge of giving up. Some of you are tired of being strong. Some of you have been praying for years for something to change. And I want to speak directly to that weary soul. Do not quit now. Do not walk away now. Do not assume God is silent simply because the answer hasn't arrived yet. Because sometimes God works behind the curtain. Sometimes He does His greatest work in the unseen. Sometimes the miracle begins long before you recognize it. And when it arrives, it won't be small. It won't be ordinary. It won't be something that leaves you wondering whether it was coincidence. It will be undeniable, unshakable, unmistakable. The kind of miracle that leaves you saying, only God could have done this. You may be fighting a battle of your own right now. Fear, anxiety, family struggles, financial pressure, hidden pain, silent heartbreak. Maybe you're carrying burdens nobody else sees. Maybe you smile in public but cry in private. Maybe you encourage others but feel empty yourself. But hear me, God specializes in filling empty places. He restores what feels lost. He heals what feels broken. He revives what feels dead. When God steps into a situation, things shift, hearts soften, wounds close, chains break, paths open, lives change. Not because of our strength, not because of our goodness, but because of His grace, His boundless, unstoppable, overwhelming grace. And that grace is reaching for you right now. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to pretend you're fine. You don't have to be the strongest person in the room. All God asks is that you open your heart, lift your eyes, and take one more step of faith. Just one. Because one step is enough for God to take over. One step is enough for Him to meet you, lift you, guide you, and turn your life toward a new direction. Some of you are about to walk into the greatest season of your life, but you've been so beaten down by the past that you've forgotten how to expect anything good. I'm here to tell you, expect again. Believe again. Hope again. God has not brought you this far to leave you. He has not allowed you to survive your current storm only to abandon you at the shoreline. No, He is preparing something. And when God prepares something, it is worth the wait. So lift your head. Strengthen your heart. Hold on to faith even if your hands are trembling. Because what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. What God is preparing is bigger than what you've lost. The promise on the horizon is more powerful than the pain in your past. You are seen. You are loved. You are not forgotten. And your story, your beautiful, painful, unfinished story, is about to turn a page. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Because God is not finished with you yet. Divine purpose is still unfolding. Even when life feels uncertain, even when the path ahead seems foggy and confusing, there is a purpose at work far greater than anything you can see in the moment. We often expect purpose to appear in bright flashes of clarity, in dramatic revelations, or in moments where everything suddenly makes sense. But more often, purpose unfolds quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. It grows beneath the surface long before it becomes visible to the human eye. What feels like a delay is sometimes divine timing. What feels like silence is often preparation. What feels like a closed door may actually be protection. And what feels like a season of stillness may be the very time God is strengthening the foundation of who you are becoming. Many people mistake slow progress for the absence of purpose, but purpose doesn't always reveal itself at the pace we prefer. Sometimes God unfolds it layer by layer, moment by moment, struggle by struggle. You may not see the reason for what you're walking through right now, but that does not mean a reason doesn't exist. It simply means you're in the middle of the story and not yet at the part where everything connects. Every challenge, every detour, every disappointment is shaping something inside you. Patience, resilience, compassion, spiritual maturity, or a deeper dependence on God that you never knew you needed. Purpose is not only about where God is taking you, it's also about who you are becoming along the way. There are moments in life when the purpose feels so distant that you begin to wonder if what you're going through has any meaning at all. The human heart grows weary when the answers don't come quickly. But even in the waiting, even in the questions, even in the seasons that feel empty or repetitive, God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. Something is moving. Something is shifting. Something is aligning. Purpose often unfolds in hidden seasons long before it manifests in visible breakthroughs. Just like seeds planted deep in the soil must remain unseen for a time, your own purpose may be buried, growing in silence until the moment it is strong enough to break through. It's easy to praise God when the purpose is clear, but it's in the hiddenness that faith becomes real. It's in the uncertainty that trust becomes necessary. It's in the moments where nothing makes sense that your spiritual sight is strengthened. What you think is a setback might actually be shaping you for something greater. What feels like a delay maybe developing a depth you'll need for the next chapter. And what looks like an ending might actually be the beginning of a completely different kind of purpose. One you never imagined, one you didn't see coming. Divine purpose rarely arrives in the way we expect. It bends, stretches, redirects, and surprises us. You are not too late. You are not behind. You have not missed your moment. The purpose written over your life is still active, still moving, still unfolding with divine precision. Even now, even here, even in this season that feels uncertain or unfinished, God is weaving something meaningful into the fabric of your life. Breakthrough often begins in hidden seasons. It is in the quiet, unseen moments of life that the seeds of transformation are sown. Many people wait for grand signs, dramatic interventions, or sudden revelations, believing that God's work must be visible to be real. But the truth is, the most powerful breakthroughs usually start in places where no one is watching, where struggle is private, and where faith is tested in silence. These hidden seasons are not meaningless. They are the crucible in which resilience, strength, and clarity are formed. What appears to be ordinary, slow, or even discouraging is often the very preparation required for extraordinary change. Consider the periods in life when you feel stuck, when progress seems minimal, or when your prayers seem to go unanswered. These are not times of abandonment. They are times of preparation. In hidden seasons, your character is being refined, your perspective is being widened, and your spirit is being strengthened. Every small act of perseverance, every moment of patience, every silent prayer builds the foundation for a breakthrough that may come suddenly, yet has been carefully constructed over time. It is easy to overlook these moments, to feel frustrated by their invisibility, but they are essential to the work God is doing in your life. The challenge of hidden seasons is that they require trust without immediate evidence. They ask you to keep believing, to keep moving forward, and to maintain hope even when it feels as though nothing is happening. This is where faith is tested and strengthened. It is easy to have faith when the sky is clear and the path is bright, but it is in the shadowed valleys, in the lonely hours, in the unseen battles that faith becomes genuine and unshakable. Every hardship, every delay, every period of waiting contributes to the depth and authenticity of your future breakthrough. History and Scripture are filled with examples of hidden seasons preceding monumental breakthroughs. People who later became beacons of hope often endured years of preparation that were unseen by the world. They experienced rejection, hardship, isolation, and disappointment. Yet these periods were not wasted. They were laying the groundwork for a purpose and a mission that could only emerge through perseverance and divine guidance. Hidden seasons are like the roots of a tree, invisible, often ignored, yet essential to the strength and stability of the life that will later flourish above ground. The roots grow quietly, drawing nourishment and resilience from the soil, just as your own unseen growth equips you for the impact you are destined to make. It is important to recognize that hidden seasons are not signs of failure or divine neglect. They are signs of intentional preparation, a season in which God is orchestrating the elements of your life so that when the breakthrough comes, it will be fully sustainable and transformative. These times teach lessons that no sudden miracle could convey, instill patience that no instant answer could produce, and shape character that no shortcut could build. Each hidden moment carries the potential to transform you in ways you may not yet understand, setting the stage for a breakthrough that will surpass your expectations and fulfill the promise God has placed over your life. God restores what feels lost or broken. Life has a way of taking from us the relationships we treasure, the opportunities we have dreamed of, the health or security we once counted on. There are moments when it seems that everything we have worked for, prayed for, and hoped for has slipped through our fingers. Pain lingers, hearts ache, And we wonder if restoration is even possible. But the truth is that God's power to restore surpasses human understanding. Nothing is too far gone, nothing is too shattered, and nothing is beyond His ability to redeem. What feels lost today may be the very thing God is preparing to return to you in a form greater than you ever imagined. Restoration is not always immediate, nor is it always obvious. Often God works quietly, mending what is broken piece by piece, restoring what has been scattered, and renewing what has been weary. He does not rush the process because true restoration requires time, patience, and faith. Sometimes what we perceive as a loss is actually an opportunity for God to reconfigure our lives, to remove what was harmful, or to make space for something better. The brokenness you carry now is not a permanent mark. It is a temporary season designed to deepen your understanding of God's grace and to refine your heart for the blessings that are coming. Many people struggle with the idea that they are too far gone, that their mistakes are too great, or that their circumstances are beyond repair. But restoration is never about what we deserve. It is about what God is willing to give. Even when you feel unworthy, even when others have turned away, God's capacity to restore is limitless. He can rebuild relationships that have been torn apart, renew dreams that have been delayed, and revive hope that has been buried under disappointment. His restoration does not merely return things to their former state. It often elevates them, making them stronger, deeper, and more resilient than before. Restoration also requires surrender. To receive God's healing and renewal, we must open our hearts to His guidance, trust His timing, and let go of the fear and doubt that hold us back. It is in the act of turning toward Him, even when we feel broken, that we allow His power to work in ways we could never achieve on our own. The process may involve humility, repentance, or simply patience, but every step taken in faith brings us closer to the wholeness that God desires for our lives. Stories of restoration are all around us. People who were abandoned, betrayed, or defeated, yet found their lives renewed in ways that exceeded their imagination. They remind us that no situation is beyond God's reach. He is in the business of mending hearts, rebuilding dreams, and turning setbacks into platforms for His glory. When we trust Him, what seems irreparable becomes an opportunity for transformation. Loss becomes a lesson, pain becomes a teacher, and brokenness becomes a pathway to greater strength. The God who restores is faithful, compassionate, and relentless in His pursuit of our wholeness. Even when we cannot see the outcome, even when the pieces seem too scattered to gather, and even when hope feels distant. Life is filled with seasons that test us, challenge us, and often leave us wondering if we will ever see the light again. Yet through every trial, every hardship, and every moment of uncertainty, one truth remains unshakable. God is faithful. He sees the struggles that weigh upon your heart. He knows the tears you have cried in silence. He understands the prayers you have whispered when no one else was listening. And even when the path seems unclear, even when hope feels faint, He is at work, orchestrating the events of your life for a purpose that is far greater than you can imagine. There is a divine plan in motion, and it is far too intricate and powerful to be hindered by human limitations or temporary obstacles. Every setback, every delay, every moment of waiting is not wasted. They are the building blocks of a life that is being prepared for something extraordinary. You may feel broken, weary, or even defeated, but remember this: God specializes in restoring the lost, healing the broken, and transforming pain into purpose. Nothing in your life is beyond His reach. What has been shattered can be mended. What has been lost can be returned in abundance. What has been delayed can be fulfilled in perfect timing. It may not happen exactly when you expect, and it may not look the way you imagined, but the God who holds the universe in His hands also holds your life. And His vision for you is always filled with hope, renewal, and triumph. The divine hand that began the work in your life is faithful to complete it, even when circumstances suggest otherwise, and even when your own strength begins to falter. Faith is not passive. It is not simply a wish or a fleeting hope. Faith is the conscious choice to trust in God's goodness, His timing, and His wisdom. Even when you cannot see the full picture, it is the decision to take another step when your legs are trembling, to speak another word when your voice quivers, and to lift your heart toward God even when despair threatens to overwhelm you. Faith turns obstacles into opportunities, delays into preparation, and struggles into testimonies. It is the anchor that holds you steady in the storms of life, the light that guides you through darkness, and the bridge that connects your present struggle with your future breakthrough. Every trial you endure has a purpose beyond the immediate pain. Every heartbreak teaches resilience. Every disappointment teaches patience. Every closed door directs you toward a path that is far better than you could have designed. Your story is being written by a hand that never falters, never tires, and never loses sight of your destiny. The chapters that feel heavy now are preparing you for the triumphs that are coming. The nights that feel endless are shaping the dawns that will follow. And the moments when you feel weakest are creating the strength you will need to walk boldly into the future God has prepared for you. So rise with courage. Hold fast to hope. Believe in the unseen, trust in the unseen, and step forward in obedience and faith. Your story is far from over. The purpose God has placed over your life is still unfolding. Breakthrough is closer than you think. Restoration is already in motion. And the life you have been dreaming of, the life you have been waiting for, the life that seemed impossible, God is bringing it to pass. Keep your eyes on Him. Keep your heart open to His work. And know that your journey, with all its trials, all its lessons, and all its waiting, is leading you to a destiny filled with His glory, His peace, and His unending love.